Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Donnie here. It's been a little bit, been very busy lately. Had to move my daughter into her first apartment up where she goes to college. A lot of stuff going on at work, a lot of stuff going on here at the farm. My son wrecked my Camaro, so I've been without a car or borrowing my wife's car for over a month now. So we're trying to figure out what to do with that. Probably end up getting a used truck here pretty soon because our other farm truck is probably on its last legs, so I don't think we can go without a truck. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on the home front, but I have been still buying cards and collecting. You might notice a different backdrop here, and so that is because with my daughter moving out into her apartment, I was able to retake her bedroom downstairs in the basement for my card room. So I finally got my card room back. It's still in work, so I'm not going to do a tour of that quite yet. Once I get everything set up and kind of where I want it, the rest of the artwork on the walls, things like that, I'll do another video walking through and giving you guys a tour of the card room. But at least now I have my spot back, my space, so I can come down here with my cards, get on my computer, enter my new pickups in my spreadsheets, pull out boxes of cards to work on building sets, look through my binders, have my display cases up. You can't see them right now, but my two display cases are up on the wall here to my right. So anyway, it's probably maybe about 50% there, I would say. Still got a few pieces of artwork to hang up. Still have to bring down all my boxes of commons and that kind of stuff, and my sets that are in boxes from upstairs. Luckily, this new card room has a walk-in closet with it, so I should have plenty of storage here. But anyway, I'll save all that for another video and show you guys. The other thing I did recently was went to the June Nashville National card show. This year it was huge. 1,400 tables, all three rooms or all three buildings at the fairgrounds. A lot of Pokemon, especially in Building 3 and some in Building 2 or Room 2, however you want to put it. But still a ton of vintage, ton of sports cards. So I spent like 4 hours there. One day I had to take my wife and my daughter's dog up to my daughter, and so I dropped them off with my daughter and I headed over to the card show, spent about four hours there. Had kind of a small budget for one of the big Nashville Nationals, at least smaller than I would have liked, but still made some good progress on my 1960 top set and picked up a few other surprises. So I'll share those with you guys in another video as well. But this video I want to have as a VR to Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. If you're watching this channel, you probably are familiar with Dan and his channel on YouTube. If not, go check it out. He has a fantastic channel. Really informative. He gets into the player stories, the history of the teams and the players and the cards. Does a really good job there. But he's running a contest for a 1971 Topps Thurman Munson card. But the question he asked the community was, share a card that describes your collecting style, or what you're all about in collecting. And this was a super hard question. I had really had to mull it over a lot in my mind to figure out what I was going to share and what really was my my collecting style, if you will. There's two areas that I think were pretty easy for me, two no-brainers. One is that vintage. I definitely am a vintage collector, pre-war, golden age. I do collect some 80s junk wax and some other stuff, but mostly vintage. Probably 95% of what I collect now is vintage stuff. So that was an easy aspect of my collecting to pick out. The other part that was easy was I have a strong preference for ungraded cards. I do buy graded cards and have some graded cards in my collection, but I'm guessing 95% of my collection is ungraded. So almost all of my my vintage cards are not in slabs, and that's what I would prefer. So those two aspects were pretty easy. But then I had to think some more, because that still left a whole lot of open space to figure out one card that would describe how you collect. So thinking through it a little bit more, I buy stuff off of eBay on occasion. I used to buy a lot more stuff off eBay, but I don't really do that a whole lot anymore. So the biggest, I guess, avenues for me to pick up cards is either local card shops, which I am blessed to have a few local card shops near me. They have some vintage. They're not vintage focused, but they do have some vintage. So on occasion, you can find some good stuff there. But really, I pick up cards mostly at card shows. So I like going to the big Nashville card shows. I do go to the smaller Nashville card shows at the Lighthouse School on occasion too. And that's where I really like to pick up cards. So that's an area that kind of plays into this VR for Dan. The second piece is that I collect all kinds of stuff. So I build sets, I have player runs, I have type collections, everything from the 1800s through, today. I don't focus purely on Hall of Famers, although I do have some Hall of Fame runs going and plenty of Hall of Famer cards, but I don't limit myself to that. I don't limit myself to the big Hall of Famers. Pretty much any player that had some significance or that has a card that's interesting to me or in some way, beautiful card or whatever, I'm interested in it. So when I'm at card shows looking for stuff, the best, outcome at a card show for me is to go through the card show and find something I wasn't expecting to find, something I wasn't looking for that really catches my eye. And I'm like, oh, I have to have that card. And then I think the last aspect of this is I'm not a high spender on cards. I think the last several years, my average card purchase each year has been around $25, maybe less. So I do pick up on occasion, $100, $200, $300 cards, but that's not very common for me. Most of my cards I pick up are in the $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 range, somewhere around there. So when I'm at a card show and I find a card that catches my eye and it happens to be a great deal, either it has great eye appeal for the condition of the card, or it's a set that I hadn't really thought about or don't have an example of, but it's an affordable example of that set, or it's a player that maybe has some history or was a really good player, but maybe not like marquee player that you can pick up for a good deal. Or maybe it's just a random thing that you find in a dollar box that some dealer or some seller didn't know exactly what they had, and so they put it in there, and you pull it out, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. I mean, I did that with the Bond Bread Phil Rizzuto a while back, $10 in a dollar box basically, and that was a great, essentially a rookie card of Phil Rizzuto, pre-rookie card of Phil Rizzuto, and Bob Bread. So, but going through all those different aspects, I came up with that. So ungraded cards, vintage cards, cards picked up at card shows in just surprising deals that I find at card shows. So if I combine all of those elements into one, I still have a lot of cards in my collection that can maybe fit that description. But I want to show the one card I picked out meets all of that. And then I guess the last piece that I didn't mention is condition. I'm not a super high grade collector. I will collect everything from poor to mint. Just depends on the set and the card and the player and what I'm looking for and stuff. And so condition is not super important to me. I'm not ashamed to have a poor condition or a good card with some creases or, maybe even, corner wear, maybe even a mark on the back or something like that. I have all those kinds of things in my collection. So combining all of those things now, the one card that describes that best is this 1933 DeLong Lon Warnke. And I picked that up at the Strongsville show in 2025. I was going through the show looking for my Ernie Banks rookie card, looking for some T206s, some Golden Age hits for my 1965 top set, rookie cards especially. And I walked past a dealer and he had a few other DeLongs, and some of the other ones had $200, $300, $400 price tags on them. He had this one. He had just picked up this group of DeLongs at the beginning of the show from someone, And he didn't have this one priced. I asked him how much he wanted for it. He said $40. And I said, $40 for a DeLong? Heck yeah. So I picked that up. $40, 2025 Strongsville show. You've seen this card before if you've been to the channel. But if you look at this card, it has some toning and a little bit of dirt on it. The corners are not perfect. It's not a perfect card. It is ungraded. Here's the back. An ungraded, I have that upside down. Yeah, upside down. Ungraded pre-war vintage card. At the time, I didn't have any other, actually still don't have any other DeLongs in my collection. So it met the type card kind of aspect. The player's lawn warranty, which I didn't know anything about him when I bought this card. Afterwards, I found out he was a pretty dang good pitcher. Wore up in the 40s. So if you're in Major League Baseball and you get a WAR up in the 40s, you're top 1% of people to ever play the game. So I thought that was interesting. It's a set that just is a fantastic looking set, very unique. Kind of has the player there in the stadium, standing in the stadium. Just a beautiful design card set. I do want to get some more of these 33 DeLongs. There's quite a few players in there I would like to have. I'd like to build the whole set eventually. But this card, being ungraded, being vintage, being of a good player, but that goes under the radar, not super high grade, of a set that is iconic. Player has some history behind him, and it was $40. Like I said, my average pickups are $25 thereabouts. So this is a little bit more than my average, but still, this is right in that sweet spot of the price range that most of my collection fits in. And I didn't get this 20 years ago. I got it 2025. So a little over a year ago, I found this 33 DeLong at Strongsville, the biggest vintage show in the country, for $40. So these are the kind of deals that I love to find at card shows. You can sometimes find these kind of deals at card shops as well, but I have far more luck at card shows. There's more dealers who are specializing in, say, modern, and they'll have a little bit of vintage on the side that they don't really know what to do with. Sometimes you find a dealer like at Strongsville who had a lot of other vintage stuff. He just didn't know a lot about the DeLong set, and he didn't know this player. It wasn't a Hall of Famer, so he didn't have it marked up. He said I was a common, kind of dirty looking, whatever. It's $40. This card's probably $100 minimum, even in this condition, to go buy it on eBay right now. Maybe more. But I can hold it. It's not entombed in plastic slab, PSA or SGC or Beckett or CGC. So I can actually touch it, feel it, which I like about card collecting. So Dan, that does it for me. The one card that typifies my collecting is a 33 DeLong lawn warranty. Thanks again for the opportunity to do this VR, and we'll chat later. Take care, guys.